as you mentioned earlier, knowing who you are and whose you are
That's
when you're
right.
talking about the tree of life,
Yep.
to be known by God and to be loved, and the fact that we have a creator and a father and a savior and a
Mm-hmm.
spirit
Mm-hmm.
who know us,
I
it's,
knitted you together in your mother's womb.
yeah, that's real scary to think about.
Welcome to the Nest of Tranquility. I am Shannon Marie Berry.
And I am Gavin Daniels. And this is You Know Me. Shannon Marie,
Hmm.
what shall we be talking about today?
Well, I think we got a couple of things we can cover. I think it would be fun to start talking about objects in our room and why they're important to us and how this room got designed. But I also want to talk about this idea of you know me. This, how exactly we talked about it briefly in the
Yeah.
pilot, but expand on that and what it means to be known and what it means to know and the different people that might know us. So,
Well, and that's talking about what's in this room is a
mm,
good way to start because so much of who we are is
in this room,
in this room. Yeah.
it's our design and how
Can
we went.
can the people see the tree?
I think today they can only see part of it. They can only see what's right behind me. But in the pilot episode, they would have seen the full tree.
The whole thing. Well, and
Yeah.
that's cool because
Mm.
what they can only see behind you is winter and spring.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we are right
Yeah.
now, anyway.
So why did you choose the tree of life?
Well, the tree of life is a symbol that has mattered a lot to me over time and just kind of guided who I am. And the idea of, for me, being rooted in the knowledge of who I am, the knowledge of whose I am. I say that a lot, who you are and whose you are. And what it means to have those deep roots to hold you steady in the midst of chaos. And, the tree of life is also, a very Jesus-y symbol, a very Christian kind of imagery, but I also think it crosses over into other belief systems other than just Christianity. And as I have grown and matured in my own spiritual development, I have found myself in year 48, because that is where I am right now. I have found myself reconnecting with creation and what it means to be stewards of creation, and what does it mean to be well rooted in that creation.
Well, especially talking about the chaos, just
Mm-hmm.
how the tree stays steady in all the changing seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the road I grew up on. There's a tree that it's an old property marker. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's where the property barrier is, and it's just fun to drive past it through the different times of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point in the year there'll be lots of crops in the field, and you can see where the crops change is where the tree line is, and watch that tree change with time, and just always think like what stories it could tell
Mm-hmm.
if it could speak, because it is an old tree. Like my dad talked about, that's where they used to stop and take their Pepsi break when he was cropping tobacco as a kid.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun. And at my very first appointment in Blaine County, Virginia, in front of our church parsonage, there was a tree that, if you go and look back in my pictures over time, I would take pictures of that tree in its different seasons. And then there was a picture that at one point when we would travel from East Tennessee back up to Ohio, where I did div school, I had several pathways to get back to my home again. And one of them took me over a mountain that was being excavated and mined, surface mined.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the tree lines just change and fall, and the geography of that out of human interaction with the earth change that piece heavily. And that was one of the things that have stood out to me over time. But then I also think about, as a young girl growing up in East Tennessee and traveling over the mountain into North Carolina, up 81, down 77, and in, and you go by Pilot Mount.
Mm-hmm. Mount Pilot.
Mount Pilot.
Pilot Mount.
Pilot Mount.
Mount Pilot.
Mount Pilot. And watching it, and I just knew there were moments that certain pieces of geography and earth just change who I am. I feel that adjustment in my body. Mm-hmm. I knew when I saw Pilot Mount that I was going to run into the flatlands of eastern North Carolina where the sandy soil was, and where the Langstons and Evans and Barnes family members of my life were. And that's Pilot Mount did that for me. And, I've had different things over time. I mean, I think about when you were driving from Texas, because you went to Baylor, when you were driving from Texas, what was the moment you knew you were in North Carolina again? What did you see?
Well, let me go back a couple of states.
Okay, go ahead.
The first noticeable geographical moment was the Alabama state line, because there was a Bojangles just on the other side of it.
Oh, how fun.
And it was the first Bojangles I could get to.
Oh, my gosh. Did you stop at that one each time?
Every time.
That's so
I
funny.
would stop on my way to Texas, because it would be my last Bojangles for like 6 months.
Sure.
And I would stop as soon as I crossed the line. And I had it mapped out where all the Bojangles were on the route. So, like, if I went 40 through Tennessee, the last one was in Nashville. And yes, one year I made the mistake. I said, I'm not going to go back like 10 minutes the opposite way to get Bojangles. I'll just get the next one. That was the last one. And I had to settle for disgusting breakfast taquitos from a mainline fast food restaurant that I will not name. But it was awful. My day, I had a 12-hour drive ahead of me and no chicken filet biscuit.
I'm sorry for you.
But North Carolina, usually when I came back home, usually I either crossed on the up 95 or at the south of the border.
Oh my God.
Either crossed there at south of the border.
Yeah.
On 95, or if I had gone to see my sister in the Greenville area, I would cross
Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
I would be coming kind of up 85.
Yeah.
Just depending on the time of the day and the traffic.
Sure.
So I'd cross over somewhere like around Charlotte-ish or something. I don't think I never drove back from 40 coming east. I only took 40 going west.
I got you.
But yeah, it's usually like south of the border. And then knowing I was close to home was like whenever I would hit the sign for Fayetteville. When I'd hit one of those first exits, knowing like, oh, I went to college there. I'm an hour from home. Like I could count down the minutes based on the exit that I was at.
Absolutely.
Then I'd see the Carolina Premium Outlets, and I know,
that's so
15 minutes away.
That's so much fun. But yeah, so the tree for me really does come into that geography, and where I've lived in a variety of places with a variety of geography, there were moments in time, even in my childhood, like when I would go to the Great Lakes, when you get to Michigan, there's things that just change about, and making yourself aware of what that is and taking time to appreciate it. So that's what I love about this tree of life. This is the word of the day.
Learn me something new.
All right. The word of the day brought to us by Katelyn Howard
Katelyn Howard
is bumfuzzled. BUMFUZZLED. Fuzzled.
Is this a real word or is
It's
this
an
made up?
absolute real word.
Oh, okay.
I'm completely bumfuzzled. Your students were completely bumfuzzled after you said,
Do not cheat.
do not cheat. Blessed Lord Jesus. Bumfuzzled is another fantastic word for confused.
Oh, okay. I like discombobulated.
Yes. It's a great word, but
I also conundrum. No, that's not one.
a conundrum is a problem that you're entered into.
You could end up bumfuzzled based off of the
Off the
conundrum.
conundrum. Yeah. How to solve the conundrum.
Yeah,
Yeah. So bumfuzzled. That's our word of the day.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you, Katelyn. So, Gavin, why don't you tell me about something in here that's poignant to you? And I'm thinking about maybe this whole addition, this blue addition to our wall.
I'll first speak to my big object.
Well, let's talk about the
So-
cue.
So we each picked one big object that we wanted behind
did,
us. I
right.
picked the clock, which with this lamp, you probably can't even tell what time it is. But
It's not said, I don't think.
oh well, a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's right.
But this may be running. I don't know. I wanted a picture of a Highland coup because I love Highland coups. After going to Scotland in 2023, Brett and I, for listeners, Brett's my wife. We fell in love with the coups, and we had just hiked the Old Man of Store. And first of all, this could have been my 15.
Why did you hike a man?
We didn't hike? We hiked around the man.
Oh, was he just standing in the middle and you
Yeah.
like Jericho in the walls?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's not falling down anytime soon.
Oh,
We hope.
okay.
But we had just hiked it, and this is a 15 moment. But it said, "Oh, this will be like the easy, moderate trail." I don't want to go up the hard trail if that was the easy trail. It was ridiculous, but beautiful. Coolest thing we did on that trip, probably for me. But as we were leaving, the whole time we just wanted to see wild coups. And as we were coming back on the Isle of Skye, back I think the town is Portree, from the Old Man of Store to Portree, Brett just started screaming out, oh my gosh, look, look, look. And I thought we were about to hit something. But
Were you driving?
yeah, we were driving opposite
On the
side
wrong side of the road?
Yeah, it was fun. But we, as our friend Regan told us from the Enterprise in the Edinburgh airport, shout out Regan, just follow the cars behind you and do what they're doing. That was my advice.
That's really good.
That was my advice on how to drive in Scotland.
That's so good.
But I lost my train of thought. Oh, here we go.
Cues.
But we were coming down the road, and Brett starts screaming like, "Oh my gosh, look, 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 look!" And I thought we were going to hit something, but there were a bunch of cars parked off to the side of the road, and these coups just standing on the ridge
Oh, wow.
with a waterfall, like perfect picturesque moment. And it was just some random person's pasture, and all these tourists had broken into their field, like opened the fence. We opened the fence gate, and we're all
And all the cues got let out.
no coups got let out on my watch.
All right.
They maybe after, but not on my. I closed the fence.
Thank
But
you.
we're coming back and we see that, so we park the car, we go up and we kind of hike up the little waterfall and we just sit at the top of it, and it's just a bunch of coups grazing, and probably got like within 5 to 10 feet of a couple of them. And I love to put my feet in any mountain water that's moving. I don't care. It could be 20 degrees outside. I will take my shoes off and put my feet in a mountain stream. And so we did that. I did that. I rolled up my blue jeans and took my hiking boots off and stuck my feet in the stream. And we sat for a minute, got bit by some weird mosquitoes, but it was one of the
How do you know they were weird? Did you talk to them?
They were mosquitoes, but they weren't. They looked like them, but they weren't. So I don't really know what they were. I got bit, but I didn't get Zika or anything
Okay.
that I know of. Could have it, maybe not. But yeah, so after that, like just the love of the coup. So yeah, thus
I like it.
the Highland coup, and then next to it you will see my scarf for the Caledonian Braves members.
Caledonian Braves?
Yeah, Caledonian Braves, outside of Glasgow, Scotland. home of David Shields, Dr. David Shields here at the University of
Shout
Mount
out,
Olive.
Dr. Shields.
2 weeks in a row. But Caledonian Braves are members of the Lowland League in
The Lowland League of what?
the Scottish Football Federation League.
Oh.
I really don't know what the official title, but
So we would call them soccer here.
yeah, soccer. They're part of the Lowland
Okay.
League, which means they're a couple tiers below, like
They're low.
They're
They're not in the
Premier League.
Highland League.
No, because
They're in
that's
the Lowland League.
geographically.
Oh.
The Highland and the Lowland League are
Interesting.
on equal playing fields.
Okay.
But the Caledonian Braves, they opened up some. I got suckered in by an Instagram ad a couple years ago to buy ownership stakes in the soccer team.
And I just said no.
Yeah, Shannon Marie said no,
I said
and
no, I don't own them.
Brett hoped that I would forget about it, and I didn't. I thought about it every day.
You obsessed about it, honey. Let me tell you.
Thought about it every day. So I am a partial owner of the Caledonian Braves, members of the Scottish Lowland League.
We're not worthy.
And I also have ownership stake in the Carrick Rangers in Ireland.
Bless it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So if either team ever gets good, my very minimal investment could turn into a very minimal profit. But I tell Isla all the time, kid, this is your inheritance.
Oh my gosh.
You will inherit this from me one day.
I would just be me.
I had to fill out
to
a full
inherit the
like
earth.
I had to fill out a full form like
if something
if
happened
something
to you,
happens
this
to
is
you,
your
who-
beneficiary.
Yeah, who's your beneficiary of your ownership stake?
Glory be.
Have a total of $300 invested between the two teams.
Oh my gosh.
But you think I owned them outright.
That's too much.
But I follow all their matches, their scores. We won the other day. It was good.
All right.
And I can say we because
You
Yeah.
are part owner.
yeah. So next time I go to Scotland, I will be popping in to visit Alliance Park.
All right.
Tell me, we did two of mine. Tell me about, we'll hit some other
something
things
else
later.
Something else of mine.
Yeah, talk about your map.
My map. Oh, this is a map or a very small charcuterie board of the state of North Carolina. What?
We should get state of North Carolina charcuterie boards, and we put only North Carolina foods on it.
Oh,
Like
that'd be a lot of pork. Pickles, pork,
pickles, Krispy Kreme donuts,
honey.
Texas Pete, Cheerwine.
Why would we do a Krispy Kreme donut when we can go get it from Grounded and Baked?
We can do both.
Shout out.
We can do a
Not a
bar,
sponsor.
like a ground and baked bar
Oh, we
with a
could.
Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah, no, I think we could do that. Okay, so this was
It was a
gifted to
weird swig.
me.
I'm sorry, listeners.
Bless it. When I moved to North Carolina in 2018, I came in as the pastor of Fremont United Methodist Church in Fremont, North Carolina.
Home of my family.
Home of your family. That's right. And they had this beautiful gift basket for me waiting when we moved into the parsonage. And this board was one of the things that they had, which has actually been kind of helpful, but it's not in my house, to help me figure out the geography of the state. Because in 4th grade, when you had your big geography project growing up, I learned the state of Tennessee. Like I had the Tennessee Blue Book, and I had to cut out things and make a scrapbook and all the things. And can you sing the Tennessee Waltz? Can you sing Rocky Top? No, Rocky Top's in there too. What is the state bird? What is
it?
the state bird? Mockingbird
Of Tennessee.
of Tennessee.
What's the state flower?
Iris.
Goo
The
goo
state
dolls.
animal is a walking horse. See, so I got all that. And I don't have that for North Carolina. But this has been really, really helpful because I kind of knew, I knew that micro North Carolina was on 301. I knew that growing up. It was not on the maps when I was growing up because it is that large. It is micro. And so I knew certain areas, but I don't know. I still am trying to learn 100 counties that this state has, and the which place is where compared to where we are. So I'm still learning. But it was a fabulous gift given to me by the people of Fremont United Methodist Church, and
It's a good.
I'm
It's got
thankful.
good.
It's really cute. I mean, it's got some great history. Like what is it? The cardinal is the state
state bird.
bird. Is that a dogwood? is a state tree, maybe?
State flower.
Flower is a dogwood flower.
State trees.
But it's a tree. What's this, the longleaf pine?
The longleaf pine, but it's the dogwood flower is the state flower.
Oh, I see. And then, of course, there's like outside of Charlotte is a little car, a Nassau car. So, and then first in flight, even though they were from Ohio, and I lived in that state too. I know it happened here, but I also lived in the state.
First in flight, first in freedom.
Where they grew up.
We signed the first document.
I'm so glad they did. So that's the North Carolina shaped wooden board on our wall.
Yeah. So. It's a good representation of the state. We need to put a pin or something for Mount Olive in there.
Yeah, Goldsboro's right here, so we just stick it about right there or something. Yeah. But
Kinley's just kind of above it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's lovely. So we've talked a little bit about all right. So, Gavin, for Shannon Marie's I think the thing today I want to talk about today is something that is difficult for universities and colleges to navigate. For years and years, it's been difficult. And then there's some complexities that occur with that. And that is cheaters in classrooms and the complexity of AI. And I know that that AI can be a very useful tool in many places, spaces, et cetera, et cetera. And but when you're in a class like ours, because in the Christian Studies department here at the University of Mount Olive, one of our primary focuses for our credentialing is character development. And we're not talking about the development of Rebecca throughout the story of Rebecca and Isaac and all that kind of stuff. Not that kind of character development. But we're talking about my own character development as we go along. And when I present these papers, which I have cut back on because I just was annoyed, as I've cut them back, the papers I ask my students to write are not hard.
No.
They are all personal reflections. What did you learn in this story that could help you be a better human in your own life?
That takes a lot of research.
It might. But even in my class, you have the Bible you're going to quote, and then you have the extra reading. And we only do parentheticals, so you're not even having to do reference pages or bibliographies or footnotes or anything like that. All you got to do is the parentheticals. And you're also using the UMO Covenant Virtues, which is a lovely document for the University of Mount Olive that teaches us, it's got 8 different covenant virtues in there. And honesty happens to be one of them, along with trustworthiness and respect. And when we start to look at that, and I ask the students, what is missing, what virtue was missing and how, what was in the story and how. I mean, I'm asking, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, I think. And then it's disappointing, I think, to have to move, as you have moved off of papers and gone into actual exams in class. And the psychology department has done the same thing because I proctored one of their exams for them one day. They're in these in-person exams, open note for psychology, open Bible for us.
Yeah.
And you've taken your exam that was an online exam and made it an in-person exam because the students are not doing their own work. It's just hard. And I don't know, I guess...
The first post-resurrection dichotomatic announcement?
Oh, gosh. The first post-resurrection, the divine revelation of the first divine prerogative of the first resurrection announcement. Oh, my
The divine prerogative of the first post-resurrection
announcement. And when it took UMO and apparently knew who I was. And it, instead of saying the University of Mount Olive, they wrote out the the United Methodist Organization. That was a really good one. I've seen another one that I wrote down the other day. But do your own work, people.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
No.
They're really not hard essays, exams.
Mm-mm.
Especially like we go over the test before we take it.
Well, and I ask them time and time again in class.
Yeah.
What was neglected? What was, exemplified?
Yeah.
We do it ahead of time. We write it the whole time.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my
Don't cheat. Don't use AI to write your papers because then you're not thinking.
Yep.
And we would rather have people who have been transformed than just people who are only informed.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing.
You getting to know me getting to know you. The listeners are now getting to know both of us. Mm-hmm. But let's talk a little bit more about the title of this podcast, this You Know Me circumstance. And what does it mean to be known? And how does that work? It was interesting. Before you had gotten to the building this afternoon to record, I was talking with a couple of the staff people out front, and they asked what we were going to talk about today. And I said we were talking about this idea of You Know Me and the name of our podcast and where it comes from. And one of the things that I have said, and it's authenticity is one of my ministry words, grace, love, authenticity. And I really do strive that the Shannon Marie that you hear here, that you know, is the same Shannon Marie in all the places and spaces. When I was in undergrad, because I have a Bachelor of Business Administration from East Tennessee State University. I don't think I ever said that in our first pod, but go Bucks. We're the Buccaneers.
What?
We're the Buccaneers. East Tennessee State University Buccaneers.
Like the Pirates?
The East Carolina University Pirates.
Yeah.
They were both teaching schools for the states.
But what I'm saying is...
Like a Buccaneer.
Why?
We're Buccaneers.
But you're landlocked.
No, we're not.
What are you pirating?
We have the TVA. All of the rivers of Eastern Tennessee. Who knows? Somebody thought it was fantastic.
You know.
I don't know. Anyway, so I have a Bachelor of Business Administration. And so in the midst of all of that, they kept talking about wearing hats. What hat are you wearing? Especially in the HR setting, what hat are you wearing? And when I got to seminary, I thought that was the dumbest thing I ever heard, because I entered into seminary as a wife of almost 10 years, of children that were 2 and 6, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, at that point, a Tennessean, I had all these different things. And in the business world, put on your whatever hat. And I just found that I got so sick because I literally would think, okay, now I'm going to put on my mom hat, take off my mom hat, put on my wife hat, take off my wife hat, put on my student hat, take off my student hat. It was so...
compartmentalization.
It was compartmentalized, and I hate it because I need integration.
Yeah.
I need my whole body, my whole self to be well integrated into where it was. And I do think it comes back to my own childhood and my PTSD and the fact that it shows up in order to protect and compartmentalize a part of me that was hard to get through and deal with. I don't want that. I hate it. I'd rather not have that. I want to have that the Shannon Marie that you see absolutely everywhere is the same gal. And one of the staff here said, "Oh, professionalism." Well, I don't think I put on a professionalism hat. But I also don't think that when we go in front of the church dinners that we do for UMO, that I change a hat or change who I am.
One piece of you may shine more,
right?
But you don't change.
But I'm not going to switch up my personality in order to be that person.
Yeah.
And that's what has been really helpful in my own journey of me getting to know me along the way. Where are you in your journey of getting to know your own self?
Here?
In this very moment in time?
Yeah, in this very moment in time. Well, I didn't realize we were going to go this direction, but I'm here for it.
Okay.
I think because I went to seminary as a 22-year-old, fresh out of undergrad, but that was the time that I feel like I really got to know myself because it was the first time I was on my own. I was 1,200 miles away from my family and any person that I had ever known. So I moved to Texas without knowing anyone and had to quickly learn who I was and figure that out. But I think for me, the piece of getting to know myself is it's ever changing and ever evolving because as we grow and we mature, that changes. And we change, we grow, we're sanctified, to use the churchy terms. So like we're constantly being made into the person of love that Christ calls us to become. And so I think right now, one of the biggest things is trying to figure out, life as a new father, and I've been married 3.5 years. So like, we had a couple years to get to know ourselves as a couple before we had a kid. And I remember I was asked last year in a coaching session, there's a lot of newness in your life, and what are you doing to balance it? And so it just made me take a step back, like, oh, okay. These are the pieces that I want to focus on the most. So being a good husband, being a good father, being a good follower, and being a good steward of what we've been given here.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's one of those things like I know who I am, I know who I'm not, but I don't want to focus on who I'm not because too often, especially like in church work, we find out, well, we're against this or we're against that. And I remember hearing a challenge one time, like for years, we have declared that we are not this, or that type of Christian. It's like, but at what point will we say we are who we are? So I think that's kind of the thing, just being honest with myself and like, today is going to be different than tomorrow and then the next day and yada, yada.
Sure.
I don't know if that really answers the question.
But it's where you are now.
Yeah. It's one of those, I'm in a listening place, I think, is listening and understanding, listening to my mind, listening to my body, listening to those around me and trying to understand what these things mean. Having gone to counseling for a few years and having to name emotions and name feelings. Yeah,
and you can't just use fear and happy and anger and sad. Yeah.
Being able to name those things.
Right.
And, okay, well, I'm anxious right now or I'm angry. What is my body telling me? Oh, okay. Like one night, I don't enjoy running. But one night I had lots of just excess energy that needed to get out and was getting really anxious. It was like 9 p.m. and I just looked at Brett. I said, I'm going to go run a mile. Be back. And she was like, what? I said, I'll be back in about 10 minutes because I'm a slow runner. I was like, I'm going to go run. I've got a lot of energy and just tension in my body that has to get out. I'm going to go run. A few years ago, I would have just sat there and just
and let it just simmer.
Yeah, let it simmer and stress me out. And but to be able to listen and understand what that means, I think those two words are the big thing. Welcome to Gavin's 15.
Gavin, what is your 15 today?
So my 15 today, as a reminder, this is the segment where I will discuss one thing that either grinds my gears or that just has got me,
your goat.
Yeah, it gets me going. Today, that's going to be if you're sick, stay at home. Especially children. It's okay to leave your sick children and stay home with them. Well, don't leave your sick children. Don't leave your children, but keep your sick kids at home.
Is there any particular time that you feel that would be most prudent?
Yeah, church. And
No, you have to go to church because that's the only way you can be with God, right?
no, God, if you walk with Jesus, the Spirit's in you and God is with you. But I'm not telling people don't go to church. I want people to go to church.
Well, absolutely.
But God is not going to smite you if you miss one Sunday because your child is sick. It is more Christ-like to keep your sick child at home during Sunday morning service as opposed to infecting the entire church with said sickness. Because, multiple times in 3 months.
Especially if it's a church that has a live stream.
Yeah, that's why we live stream, folks.
We didn't, I mean, clearly COVID is what took a lot of churches to this live stream situation. But for me, in my congregation right now, I've got some individuals that are in a place and space that their health is a little fragile, and they're healthy enough to come to church. But what we have asked our congregation to do is, if you feel bad, you stay home, so that they have the option to come to church and have as much normalcy in their already fragile life that they can possibly have.
What's the old hymn? We share each other's load, our mutual burdens bear.
I have no idea what you're I don't know this song.
And often for each other flows a sympathizing tear.
Oh, I do think I know this, but I don't think you're singing
is that
it.
Sweet Hour of Prayer?
Yes. That's really good.
Yeah.
No, for real. I mean,
if you're sick, stay home. Stay
general,
home.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Not just kids, adults too. Y'all know better.
Because the first time it happened, I was like, oh, she wasn't even 1 at the time. So I was like, oh, this is a baby's cold. So me as a full-grown adult male, I shouldn't get this cold. I should be able to fend it off real well. No, it wiped me out. Wiped me out about 2 days later, and nothing like flying with a head cold. And
wait a minute, should you have been flying with that head cold? If your rule is stay home if you're sick, you masked up. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Caring for the others.
Yeah. Well, the cold hit me after, like the day after the flight.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you're already gone.
Yeah. I had to be on vacation sick. So stay at home with your children. Don't leave your children. Stay at home with your children. God will not hurt you, and others will thank you.
Sure. So we've thought about us knowing our own selves and getting to know our own selves. But what about the divine?
Oh, before we go there, can we explain how we came to the name You Know Me?
Let's go for it.
So as you know, we are a part of a branch of what we call the Unified Pathway Projects here at the University of Mount Olive. So when we first came up with that branding, we would tell people we are the UPP, and the response we would get back was,
yeah, you know me.
So as we were kind of figuring this out, we were workshopping several ideas, and we came to the You Know Me, just as a ha funny joke. And then Shannon Marie, you took it a step further, and you got all deep and theological on me when I wasn't trying to do that.
Sorry.
It's okay, it works. But the name You Know Me, to be known by the divine, so that, as you mentioned earlier, knowing who you are and whose you are,
That's
when
right.
you're talking about the tree of life.
Yep.
To be known by God and to be loved, and the fact that we have a creator and a father and a savior and a spirit who know us.
I knitted you together in your mother's womb.
Yeah, that's real scary to think about.
Well, and as a knitter, it's the strangest thought process ever. I mean, having been pregnant and birthed children, the thought process of God sitting with God's knitting needles just kind of
in the meetings with the Trinity, just
dropped a stitch. Do I go back and fix it? What color do I need it? I know, right? But it's to me that is part of it.
Yeah.
Of what exactly did that mean?
Yeah.
And when the author had written that one down, what were they thinking that day?
thinking about being knit together, how intricate the process of life is, and really
Mhm.
how miraculous it is that any of us ever made it out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, being known by the divine, for the last couple of years I've stayed stuck in the Exodus narrative, um, of
A
that
good stuck or a bad stuck?
a good stuck,
Okay.
just constantly called back to Moses's encounter with God at the burning bush
Mm-hmm.
when the divine name is revealed,
Mm.
and how God calls Moses, and then when Moses is like, but in chapter 3, when he's like, but what am I supposed to tell the people when they ask me who this God is that talked to me? Like, what name can I give them? And how God gives God's name back to Moses. And in that moment, a relationship is formed.
Yeah.
It's not a one way, it's a two way. Like, it's hard to be in relationship with somebody when you don't know their name.
Which is why in the women in the Bible, for me,
You name.
the unnamed women we give names to,
Yeah.
because if you don't know the name of the person, you can dismiss them.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start calling somebody by name, it's part of me and Shannon Marie. Yes, that is my first name, Shannon Marie. I know it's long. Thank you for taking the extra syllables out of your mouth and using them. I go by Shannon Marie. That is who I am. And the fact that someone cares enough, especially when somebody first meet me, do you go by Shannon Marie? I'm like, you care. Thank you.
Yeah. So to be known by the divine is to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the hardest things as humans is to be known,
Mm.
especially in such a individualistic culture and world that we live in.
Yes.
And to know that there is someone out there who knows me.
And not just the way you show yourself on social media. Those pretty, is the filter right? Is the lighting right? This is me standing at a really cool thing that I'm standing at. These crafted
Yeah.
posts to put, the picture that you want people to think you are
Yeah.
forward.
Well, and it's like I was talking with a friend the other day, talking about being known in marriage and what it's like for your spouse to look at you and just be like, something's not right.
Mm.
And no matter how much you try to hide it, they see your eyes, or there's a tell that whatever it may be that you have. And I was like, yeah, it's one of the most beautiful things, but it's one of the most annoying things that your spouse can look at you and be like, you're avoiding eye contact with me today. What's going on? And I'm like, well, I'm avoiding eye contact because I'm struggling, I'm stressed, and I don't want you to see my stress. So I'm not looking. But it's the same way with God, and that's where to be known is the way that the Spirit calls us and moves and convicts to move in a specific direction. That when we want to run and hide like Jonah,
Yeah.
there's the indwelling of the Holy Spirit who then comforts and convicts and calls and gives peace and all those things to be like, hey, you're mine.
Mm-hmm.
This
I've
is,
licked you. You're mine.
yeah,
One of my favorite phrases about friends. I've licked you. You're mine. But that's a big deal. But I'll also say there are those of us on this universe that have the ability to look at people,
mm-hmm.
and see them in ways and spaces. For me, because I have that gift. I have that gift of looking at people.
We are guilty as charged.
Yes, right. And being able to see that there's more, and maybe even able to put into words what they can't put into words.
Yeah.
And that in itself, if that is a God trait, then I think you and I have both been gifted with it. But that's a huge burden for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because to have that ability to look at somebody and have that ability to put into words things that they can't, and to see in their inner soul being the recipient of Gavin looking at me and knowing is really unusual, because I am the majority of the time the one looking at others and knowing. Jason, my husband, it can do it too, but he doesn't push me. He knows there's something, but he won't push me. He's getting better at pushing me because he's realized that that's a good thing to do. But you push me. And so,
You're welcome.
oh my gosh, no, it's not right. Don't do it. No. But I think if that is a semblance of God being able to look deep inside and using us as God's people in community with one another. Like, where have you seen God? I don't ask my church on Sunday, how are you? I don't ask for praises. I ask, where have you seen God? And I find that that is a question very hard for some people to answer.
Yeah, we don't. Oftentimes, we don't even think about it.
Yeah.
We don't pay attention to
No.
how God has showed up in the everyday, ordinary, mundane.
Yeah. But there's also a huge burden on being a seer,
Yeah.
and that I am also an empath. So I don't just see into your soul. I also receive the energy that you are casting off as well. And I will immediately feel myself. If Gavin is stressed, we say this all the time. Gavin and I do really well together because we've both had moments that we've walked to the edge of the cliff ready to jump. But
Not literally.
no. But just with the life itself being too much, the other one of us has not been there. We're not in that space, so we can safely grab and pull back. And we've had that ability to do that. And I think that's part of God's work in community and why we aren't meant to be these individuals that our society calls us to be, to alienate us from one another. The beauty for me of church, I love worship. I really do love worship, but I love this fellowship piece that happens. And this idea that when you walk into the church that I'm the pastor of, everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
And it can be, and it's not a gossipy, we know everybody, because I've been in places like that too. But this church really does care, and you are seen. And that to me is really important and part of the fellowship piece.
And that's scary, to be seen and to be known.
It can be.
Yeah.
If you have things you don't want
Others to see. Yeah. Well, and that's going back like to the communal piece, just how we've learned that you can't be siloed off. Silos are great for grain storage and on farms,
Yes,
but when
yes.
it comes to living life, especially in the Christian community, it's called the Christian community for a reason, not the individual place.
Right. And Jesus didn't call just one person to walk with Jesus, called 12 what named disciples and all the other plethora of people that came in with them too.
There were crowds following constantly.
Absolutely. So it wasn't an individualistic situation. But when you run silos in your work world, in your spiritual world, when you only present to a certain group of people a certain amount of stuff, danger creeps in.
Yeah.
That is room for evil to take hold. I kind of shy away from using the word Satan, but it just allows things to happen that isn't good for you or your soul or your spirit.
It's like John's light and darkness.
Yeah.
Things we do in the dark, but when light gets shone or shed.
Absolutely. So, I think that kind of roundabout begins to talk about why this "you know me" piece in the title of this podcast is important.
Yeah.
And yeah, you and I have the grant work that we do and all that kind of stuff, but we're finding that as we do this grant work, especially we had 3 grants, right, going, and they were acting so independent of one another that when you and I started doing this work together, we realized that we are actually called to do this work dependently of each other. And the things that your congregations were asking of you, I could step in and give a hand. And the things that my congregations were asking of me, Westminster United Methodist is one of them. You are stepping in with them now and taking them to another step in another place in another space. So you and I can't do this apart.
Yeah.
At all. That's how I feel about it anyway.
Yeah, well, and it calls us, and I think being on a college campus is one of the cool pieces of this whole, because I mean, in our country, this is really the only time in your life that you live in deep, intentional community.
Yeah.
And so to be on a campus in community, involved in the community of the students, you get that chance to know students and even faculty members and staff members, where you can look and say something's not okay, or I can't count right now the number of students who've already stopped by this week to talk about hard things in life, or when they don't want to, I can look in their eyes and say, "You're not telling me the full story."
Right.
And to realize that there's that safe space in an Instagram world where they can shed what's going on behind the camera.
And that's why I have an egg chair in my office.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We wanted these to be egg chairs, but there's not enough space in this
room.
and
it's too creaky and movie and all that kind of. We'd be rocking the whole time. Yeah. So, but I do think that is the beauty of UMO. Our grant is 7/8, 7/9, 7/10, whatever, however many, 8/8 or 7/8 or 8/9 or 9/10 of the work we do. And teaching is just a piece of that. But, I came into the office the other day, and on my little whiteboard, Emma, one of my former students, had been, "Hey, I stopped by." And I'm like, this is fantastic. That the work that we did with them in a classroom continues forward. And I've had students that have leaned heavy into you, and you've had students that have leaned heavy into us or into me, or leaned into us together as we go along, because we are safe to them. We are non-judgmental, but we also know how to ask curious questions, to not tell them what they need to do, but maybe give them, cause them to think about something differently than they have thus far.
Yeah.
So, well, I think we're probably at the end of our time together today.
Probably. I hadn't looked at a clock because this one hasn't moved. So
well, it has moved.
Oh, it has?
Yeah, it's moving.
Is it moving the opposite way?
No, time doesn't go backwards. It only goes forwards.
We will continue to explain other pieces in our office or room, the Nest of Tranquility.
The Nest of Tranquility.
We'll continue to explain these things as you get to know us.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's how we got to this name, and a way to see into our lives a little bit. And Will It Mustard. Today we are finding out whether or not
these are Mount Olive Munchies.
Mount Olive Munchies. They got
kosher petite dill for those of you all at home.
They got the buffalo in it?
No, this is not the buffalo version. We have it up at the very top, but I did not want to play with buffalo. I don't want a water buffalo. Thank you. And shout out to Phil Vischer. And French's classic yellow mustard. So, Gavin, on this episode today, will you be partaking with me?
I cannot partake due to medical reasons today.
Yeah. So, bless it. All right. So, these are, there's a variety of sizes. This one has a tail. This pickle. Oh, wait. No, that's just a stem. So, a petite dill pickle. And our yellow French. Oh, no, she's exploded. Holy bejeebers, Batman. Okay, that is a whole lot.
I'm going to go ahead and that's not that much.
Can you wipe that off so that we are kind of nice to everybody as we go along? And for those of y'all listening, this just kind of exploded out of the top of the mustard container. But all right, everybody, on the count of 3.
Hold on.
Oh,
My
wait.
guess is that I'm going to say 100% yes, a dill pickle will mustard.
Okay.
A Mount Olive dill pickle.
A Mount Olive petite. Wait, kosher petite dill pickle. Here we go.
It sounds crunchy.
It's a crunchy pickle, but it's not a cold crunchy pickle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a warm crunchy pickle.
But how are the flavors?
The mustard doesn't feel as yellow as it did last time. I feel like the color of grass is what I'm eating right now.
Is it like drinking a matcha?
It's not dirty though. Matcha has a dirt flavor.
That's gonna taste like
it's earthy.
grass.
It's earthy.
Grass comes from the earth.
So I mean it works. Clearly there's a reason that we put it on our hamburgers on a regular basis. So that was lots of fun. So
we would have
kosher petite dill pickles. Will it mustard? Yes.
But make sure they're cold.
Yes.
We would have pickles with that's one thing I do miss about Texas is the pickles with the brisket.
Oh yeah.
I had brisket. I don't remember where
brisket
I was,
and pickles.
Where I had brisket recently, and there were no dill pickle slices, and it was kind of sad.
It's pretty tasty that way.
Yeah. I needed that extra crunch.
At City Barbecue, you used to be able to just get a plethora of pickles. Now you have to ask them for it because they don't have their little pickle bar anymore. I think it's sanitation reasons or something.
Probably, yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You could walk up with the little teeny metal tongs and grab all the little pickles you wanted.
Yep.
I always had extras.
Do love a good pickle. Yeah. And in our next pod, we have our first guest coming.
Yeah, so tune in.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you all again on You Know Me.